Yo, so PSA time. After the last video I did on ScootX and also potentially the lack of multiplayer, at least from where a lot of the people in the community and from what I saw, it seemed like multiplayer may be a bit hard to implement in 2.0, and it's something I did a video on. It kind of kicked up a bit of a firestorm. I don't think Mash was particularly happy about that video, but after that, within 24 hours, he started working on multiplayer. And at this point, as you can see in this video, this is actually something I took a little earlier on. And the other person riding around is Skirt, well-known map maker, and various other things. Yeah, we've got to this point in the game. Now, I'm not egotistical enough to be like, I'm the person that got multiplayer back into Streets. From what Mash said, it's apparently always been the plan to have it in the game, he just didn't know how to do it. It did come across, at least from my perspective, that he may potentially not include it, and I think other people maybe had the same impression, and that's kind of the way I reported it in the last video. Turns out that's maybe not the case. It's kind of hard to know what happened in the meantime to get all this suddenly working, like how did he figure it out so soon? I don't know, that's all kind of speculation and we'll probably never know unless Mash talks about it himself. But here we are, is me riding around, Skirt over there. One thing to note, I play in Japan, well I live in Japan, and it seems to be region specific right now if you want to play multiplayer, so Skirt actually used a VPN to connect to Japan. Otherwise, I haven't really seen anybody playing aside from me. That's one thing to think about, at least at the current time, and this also only works on the test map. So as you can see here, we're playing on the test map. If you load into that, it should start multiplayer, like if anybody is in your region, you'll see it coming up. And yeah, after that last video, mentioning it may not happen, I think it's only fair to, now that it's here, report that it is actually apparently going to be a thing. We'll see how it turns out in the end. I kind of don't really want to make promises either way of how this is going to work out. Presumably this will be on console as well whenever console releases. We don't know when that will be. We also, I don't know if Mash has mentioned if multiplayer is going to be in ScootX or any of the other versions of the game, or if this is just a BMX Streets only thing. So yeah, the plan is to keep everybody updated on how this is progressing going forward. I wouldn't pay too much attention to any weirdness that's going on. Like, literally yesterday, it was a cube, I think. People were floating cubes going around, and then it was just a guy. And now we've progressed to, like, the textured person, bikes, most of the base stuff is there. So hopefully it keeps going from here. Also, Feebles have been updated, apparently. Like, they work better. I found they actually worked fairly good before. Them and Smiths seem to be fixed for the most part. Some of the other grinds are a bit weird at the minute. But, I don't know. We'll deal with those as we get to them. Regardless, anyway, I wanted to put this video out to say that multiplayer is a thing. Hopefully it stays that way. I'll maybe hold off on reporting too much, especially when it comes to Mash in Discord. I'm not in there all that often, but the vibe sometimes you get from people is something's going to happen, it's not going to happen. Mash maybe trolls a little bit or says things in Discord which maybe doesn't necessarily mean what it may come across as. It's kind of open to interpretation, I think, for a lot of that stuff. So unless it's an official announcement, I'll try and stay away from saying too much, except suggestions for things where it may go in the future. Also, ScootX is probably coming out in July. Sounds like the start of July, but again, maybe wait until it's actually released before we say anything, because who knows what may happen in the meantime. Regarding that game, I'm down to play it. I kind of like scooter games, and if it's got this engine, it's probably going to be pretty solid overall, especially like transition and all that sort of things. So I'm looking forward to showing it to people, whether you want to play it or not. Oh yeah, Skirt just sort of flies away into the distance. Yeah, whether it will be appealing to a lot of people, especially for my channel, a lot of scooter content doesn't really do very well. I'm not sure if many people are that interested in it. Ironically, there's a lot of scooter games at the minute, so there's going to be a lot of competition. I also plan on covering Scoot, because that had a nice update recently. Scooter Flow as well. It feels kind of early. If I feel inclined, I may do a video on it, but I may wait until things are a bit further along for that one. Also, I should probably say, like, the fact that this came up and then Mash immediately responded to it doesn't mean we should just all start flooding Mash with messages saying we want this functionality. Like, whatever else you can think of. Like, as a joke, like, somebody mentioned hang fives. I think I mentioned it as well. It'd be nice to have hang fives. that doesn't necessarily mean Mash is obligated to immediately switch to that. Let's let him do what he does. But at the very least, we've solved the concern that multiplayer may not be happening. It seems to be a thing. Hopefully it turns out that it can stay a thing long term, because that's going to be a huge thing for the scene. Again, when it comes to console, no idea about that side. We'll wait and see what happens. Will there be crossplay? Will console have multiplayer? I presume so. We'll wait and see. In the meantime, I've got an edit coming up. I also want to do a video on Scoot. I'll do one on Scoot X when it comes out as well. Yeah. Hopefully, everything's peaceful in the land. So anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for Skirt for coming over to Japan briefly. And I will see you in the next video.